Sports Ignite, Sports Unite, Sports Day and Night, and there's no overdose when it comes to sports shows. Welcome to another wonderful day on Talk Sport. This is Global Television. Now, I want to begin from things happening from the home front. My name is Ramsey Enoch, and I'm taking you through so many things happening. But then, charity, they say, begins at home, and I'm going to get started from the home front this morning as Eguavoen banks on Boniface Awoniyi for goals against Libya. Who is going to get the goal? Libya is not a little nut to crack as the Super Eagles interim coach Austin Eguavoen has backed Victor Boniface, Taiwo Awoniyi, Kelechi Awoniyi, and of course, Kelechi Iheanacho is going to be in that game too. But then he is not in camp yet, but they said he's going to be returning back to camp today. And others have been also invited, and the players have been asked to deliver the 3 points despite the absence of his number one choice striker. Do you know who I'm talking about when I say that Eguavoen's number one super striker? You know who I'm already talking about. I'm talking about Victor Osimhen, who is not going to be readily available for that game. And what's the problem? What's the matter? Someone may care to know. As a matter of fact, let me just bring you a little detail about the first match of the Super Eagles, as the doubleheader is set for Friday, and that's going to be on the 11th day of October 2024 at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium. Before both sides trade tackles at the Matthias of Benina Stadium, Libya, 4 days later, meaning after the first leg of the game in Nigeria. Nigeria's Super Eagles will be going to Libya, and they'll be holding it down at the Benina Stadium. As a matter of fact, that's going to be 4 days after, but unfortunately, Eguavoen will not be with his choice, number one choice strike. I'm talking about Victor Osimhen, after the striker picked up an injury during Galatasaray's 3-3 draw with Kisenpasa 2 weeks ago. In the voice of Eguavoen, this is exactly what Eguavoen said. He was pained, he was bitter about everything that happened, and the boys are now ready to fight for those 3 points. Every second count, as a matter of fact, in that game. And he said he knows it means to get the job done. That's all it takes. All I'm saying and all I will be going for is to make sure the job is being done. If you say the job should be done, what is he really talking about? He's talking about the fact that they need the 3 goals, and that's exactly what Nigerians are looking for against Libya come Friday. And of course, the job needs to be done over with as early as possible. No delay tactics, no sluggishness on the feet. It should be tiki-taka kind of football right there. You know what I'm talking about. And all Nigerians are saying is get us the goal. And it's going to be a very tough one. That's coming from the coach of the Super Eagles, because no club, no countries should be taken for granted. But he said he thinks that at the end of the day, with the boys that he has right now, and the fact that these guys are so eager and they are so optimistic and they are so enthusiastic, and of course bringing on their A game, he said they are going to have the game delivered in favor of the Super Eagles, and Nigerians will smile at the end of the day. Remember, it is Talk Sport, and we are talking sport. Remember, sport is a game, and of course sport is a show that every one of us will need to participate. So if you're close to your screen right now, just know that we are doing it together. All right, my guest will be joining me on the show right now, and of course Yusuf is standing by. He's going to be joining me via Zoom, and we are going to be talking sports together. Not just me and Yusuf, you will also be there talking sport, because as we are saying ours here, you are right there analyzing, and that's why they said sport is a game of everybody and not just one person. All right, as soon as he come on, I will let you know. Okay, he's right here. Good morning, Yusuf. Good morning, Yusuf. All right, as soon as he comes on, I'll let you know. Yusuf will be joining me. He's a sport analyst, and he's going to be analyzing and talking sport alongside Ramsey this morning. And let me take you more to things happening from the world of sport, as I am ready to bring you deep details concerning things happening from the world of sport this morning. It will interest you to know that it will also be another time for the Libyan national team, and of course to prove what they actually have. And so interesting, instead of arriving in Nigeria, they arrive a day earlier than the expected day. Immediately after their training, they just got into the private jet, and here they are in Nigeria. I'm talking about the Libyan national team, who arrived in Uyo, the capital of Akwa Ibom State, ahead of the Friday's 2025 African Cup of Nations qualifying fixture against the Super Eagles right there at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium. It's an international stadium. No wonder the NFL president is saying we're looking for another stadium that will equate that of Akwa Ibom. Well, I think that's something that can be done. That's, by the way, let me also let you know that the North Africans are bottom of Group D, which also houses Benin Republic and Rwanda, having already mustered 1 point in 2 matches, and making it a paramount game for them to go for broke against the Super Eagles. That's to tell you how serious that game is really going to be. It is a very desperate time. And who are the desperados here? Well, the Super Eagles are desperate. The Libyan team is also desperate. But then they are all seeking to rekindle their qualification hopes, especially the Libyan side for the finals of the tournament that is going to be happening back there in Morocco. And as a matter of fact, being the first outing of their new head coach, this guy has a point to prove. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because he's got a point to prove. That is the Libyan coach. He has a point to prove. Why? Because he just came into the scene, and he needs to prove to the people that he's got what it takes to actually take Libya to their promised land. And for that reason, he's going to be doing extra job to make sure things go very well. And he has also chosen to succeed the Serbian coach. He was chosen, and he's the one coming in for the Serbian coach, who is also going out. I'm talking about Molitana Sedjovic Mitchell, who is actually leaving. And after the team's poor result in the first 2 rounds of the qualifiers, they have to show him the way out. But then I don't know why coaches are always being sacked. What about the players who were actually in the field of play, battling with the round leader game? Of course, the qualifiers also makes the visitors very dangerous opponent. This is because they need what it takes to go home with the 3 points in that game. But then the Super Eagles, will you guys be relaxing? Don't just play. The coach has said something very vital, talking about Guavam now, who said, well, they need to do everything, and whatever they have to do in that game against Libya, they have to do it very fast. It needs to be a sharp runs, no delays as they come into the game immediately. That's that for the Nigeria versus Super Eagles game. What am I talking about right now? Let me talk about Enyimba. Well, Enyimba have actually proven that they are formidable in the past, and now I'm going to be taking you to the draw of the Confederation Cup. How did it really happen? Where is the Nigeria team? Are they going to find it very easy, or they will find it very difficult? Well, I don't know, but then at the end of the day, we will know if they are in a very good group or they are in a killer group. What do you mean by a killer group? That is a group where you don't need to close your eye for a minute to get a goal. Well, who plays the round later game closing his or her eyes? Never. What am I trying to say? It means it's gonna be a win-win. It's supposed to be a win-win for Enyimba, looking at where they are being drawn in the group as they are drawn. I'm talking about Enyimba draw champions Zamalek in the Confederation Cup stage, and they will battle the epic proportion is in the offing as Confederation Cup holders and Super Cup winners. Zamalek of Egypt are drawn against Nigeria's Enyimba in the CAF Confederation Cup group stage. Well, that is a very deadly one, because you know who Zamalek is. Zamalek is not a club to play with at all. As a matter of fact, it will also interest you to know that it's going to be a very, very wonderful game. As a matter of fact, the draw was made yesterday in Cairo, Egypt, and several former champions, including USM Alger, Zamalek SC, and of course RS Berkane are involved in the group stage. This year is not like the other years where you have some countries and some clubs, as a matter of fact, that you can just call walkover. Right now in this group stage, I don't think there is a walkover, and if you don't get it right from the beginning, Enyimba, you are going to miss out. Come on, make Nigerians proud. Let Nigerians have more interest in the clubs back home, in NFF, in NNL, and all the other games back home. All right, let's see how that is going to go. But then they will also be involved with RS Berkane, and they are involved in the group stage this year as they gear up for fierce competition. I call it a fierce competition because if there is anything at all to do, it is to start training right now and get to the top and beat every club that is beatable and get to the peak of the group stage. As a matter of fact, the Egyptian side, Zamalek, were also placed in the same group as their compatriot Al Masry and Black Bulls in what promised to be an exciting Group D game. Zamalek, like I said, seeking to add another CAF Confederation Cup to their illustrious history again. They've been champions before, and you know it is never enough. No one is ever satisfied being a champion, so they will also want to maintain their pedigree in that game just to keep history. But then they will be facing a very tricky group this time. Will they really survive from the group, or they won't survive? That is just left for us to decide when the game gets started. Well, it is a group stage, but then you don't take group stages for granted. It will also interest you to know that the group stages will kick off in November, setting the stage for some of Africa's biggest club to chase the Terengis CAF Confederation Cup glory. It is a glory. Who is going home with the glory? I will let you know whoever that is going to go home with the glory. Let's go on a quick break. After this break, we'll return and we'll hit the road running with some other story, as we will be congratulating the former Super Eagles player who was popularly known as the Bull. Well, when I say the Bull, you know what I'm talking about already. I'll talk more about Amokachi and his present condition and where he is right now. I'm not talking about his doings now. I'm talking about him. He's got a place right now. He's got a job, and this is a very formidable job. I'll tell you more about that, and that's going to be after this break. Amokachi, welcome back from that break. Of course, it was a very wonderful one. It's good to have you right here. There is no overdose when it comes to sport, and this is Talk Sport. We are talking sport right now from Global Television, and right now we are hitting the road straight ahead to Benue State, where Amokachi pledges 120% commitment to Lobby Stars' success. The newly appointed technical advisor of Lobby Stars of Makurdi, Daniel Amokachi, the Bull, resumed at his a new duty post as he had his first training session with the team on Monday morning at the Makati Stadium. The club in a statement said during his introduction to the players, the former Super Eagles coach and Benue-born football tactician emphasized his role as not just being somebody who is a coach, that he is a friend, that's number one, he's a confidant, that's number two, and that he is the boss. He needs to define that so that everyone will just be very free with him. That's what I think. And the statement also indicated that while speaking with the media, Amokachi also expressed his heartfelt gratitude to the club's board, and not just to the club, but also to the Benue State government for the opportunity to serve, and pledged to give his 120% and not 100%, 120%. Oh my God, to the team, and of course he will steer the team in the right direction. That's what everyone is looking for. That's what everyone wants right now in Benue State, reflecting on the team's current record of 3 losses, 1 draw, and just 1 win. Amokachi was quoted as saying he was committed to halting the poor results, just as he noted that the players' welfare would be key to boosting performance. What would you have said? That's a very, very wonderful statement. The welfare of the players is very crucial to their performances on the field of play. Some persons just look at the round later game. They don't think about the welfare. That's why sometimes if some people are blaming players for certain things, I just look at them and say, well, you don't know how these guys are faring. You don't know their psychological state. You don't know their emotional state. But then some coaches, because they feel some players are good, they just get them into the field and want them to play, not minding their state of mind. I don't know, their condition is very important. That's one of the first things Amokachi is actually looking at as the incoming coach of Lobby Stars Football Club. As a matter of fact, Lobby Stars Football Club have lost some games, they've drawn some games, and they've won just a game, and that's not good enough. And he has tied into the fact that their performance needs to be upped a little bit, but then their welfare mustn't be taken for granted. Meanwhile, Lobby Stars are said to have commenced intensive training ahead of their highly anticipated, rated, very, very wonderful North Central derby against Niger Tornadoes. You know, Niger Tornadoes are from the North Central, then Lobby Stars are also from the North Central. This is a North Central derby, and probably maybe played in Nasarawa or somewhere very close to the both sides. But then let's see how this derby is going to go, because this derby is going to serve somehow as maybe a litmus test for Amokachi, who is just coming in. But then let not what happened to Finidi George repeat itself with Daniel Amokachi, because I don't know, but I am thinking that he mustn't be judged first of all with his first game, even though it is a crucial game and he needs to prove a point, because all eyes are on him right now, especially looking at the statement he has made so far. He said he is coming in not just with 100%, but with 120%, and that's big enough. So let's see what's going to happen from that North Central derby against Niger Tornadoes this weekend. And the game is not going to happen in Nasarawa State. It's not going to happen in Benue State. It's going to be happening in Niger State, and that's going to be in Mina, to be specific. Moving away from there, let's talk a little bit. Remember, we're still at the home front. From the home front, we move to other parts of the world because we want to go with a saying that says that charity begins at home. Now, let's talk about the Nigeria Football Federation. Well, they have decried death of good pitches in Nigeria. One of the things that will virtually bedeviled footballing activity, games generally in Nigeria, is bad pitches. It's either you don't have good pitches or you don't have good buses to even convey these players to where these games will be played. Very crucial. Amokachi was just talking about the welfare of the players. When we talk about welfare, it's not just the take home. It's not just about how much they are being paid as their monthly or weekly salary, as the case may be, but then their welfareism that has to do with how they are being moved from one location to the other, the kind of pitches that they play, and all of that accumulate into what Amokachi was talking about. And right now, one of the things that the president of the Nigerian Football Federation, Ibrahim Gusau, have decried is the fact that the poor standard of stadia in the country has become very worrisome for the Super Eagles to play Grade A matches. Gusau actually made the observation while speaking with journalists after inspecting the ongoing renovation of the Aparaku Stadium there in Makurdi, Benue State capital. And as a matter of fact, he revealed that the NFF was seeking an alternative to Godswill Akpabio International Stadium. Where do we use apart from Uyo? Where can we use again? And unfortunately, and this is embarrassing for me, and this is not too good, if the round leader game is actually valued in a country like Nigeria, then we should have standard stadiums, not just like the one that was built in Akwa Ibom State, but then in the country we should have other very international standard stadiums. Look at what the NFF president is saying right now. He's decrying, he's worried, and of course he's bothered about the fact that if you look away from the Godswill Akpabio Stadium, there's nowhere else to take your eyes to. There is nowhere else to go to if you want to talk about international standard stadiums. And that's worrisome. That's a problem. What do we do about that? I think the NFF president will have to do something about that, and of course he needs to get back to the table and see how these things can actually be fixed. My guest is supposed to join me via Zoom, but then there is a little technical hitch, and I'm going to be driving it. I'm going to be the pilot man. I'm going to be doing both the analysis and of course bringing you the stories. I will be doing the two all together pari passu as we get longer in the world of sports today. Well, I don't know, but then it's worrisome. Once again, the governor of Benue State also stated that they are blessed with talented athletes and women in the past, and promised to invest more in sport to bring back the glory days for Benue State. And of course, talking about the performance of Lobby Stars, and not just Lobby Stars, we have the Nigeria Rattles. Also, they are from Benue State, but then they are owned not by the Benue State government, and all of this put together culminate to what the governor is actually talking about, bringing back the glory days. Very wonderful, very interesting for anyone who is from the North Central to actually be proud of. The glory days in the world of sports needs to be returned again, and if you ask me, I will say all hands needs to be on deck, not just the Benue State governor, but every other governor from the North Central. They are doing their bit, and not just the governors alone. Even the federal government should contribute and do what is needed to make sporting activities very, very good and interesting, so that Nigerians can wake up and longer for games that are being played by the national team, and even the NNL, and even coming to the clubs. As a matter of fact, I'm moving away from there. Let me talk a little bit about Ajibade. Rasheedat is making Nigeria proud. As a matter of fact, I can't stop talking about Rasheedat Ajibade. What am I saying? Ajibade has actually won the Liga FPOTM award. I'm talking about the Atletico Madrid winger who has also been crowned as the Spanish La Liga F Player of the Month. That is a female player of the month for September, capping off an incredible run of form for the club. Atletico Madrid winger Rasheedat Ajibade has actually taken that crown from some persons, and she has been capped as an incredible runner for the club so far. And the report also has it that the 24-year-old Nigerian sensational dazzling player was actually very, very sensational throughout the month. Not just in one game, not in two games, but all through the month, scoring 5 beautiful, wonderful goals and providing to assist in 4 league matches for Atletico. Her exemplary performance also left the opponent in awe, and of course they solidify her status as one of the league's top talent. My God, I love this. Man, Ajibade, thumbs up for you, thumbs up for you, thumbs up for you, sister. You know, success has many brother and failure is an orphan. If to say she no do well now, I no go thumbs up for her, but now they call her my sister because she's doing well. That's how it is, man. Ajibade actually didn't do it alone. She had some other people that would have merited that, but she was able to beat other top players to get the award, edging out Barcelona's Pajo, Real Madrid's Caroline Ware, and Levante, Barcelona's Maria Lampard, and of course Atletico clubs Femino's Nevado. These are very, very good, wonderful players that were actually in that position to get that award. But what did Rasheedat do? She said, well, I'm a Nigerian, we don't take a no for an answer, and she went and grabbed that award, and that is kudos for our own Super Falcons player. Moving away from there, can we talk a little bit about the Super Eagles forward Ademola Lookman, who was also included in the Serie A team of the week alongside 4 of his Atlanta teammates after claiming the man of the match award in his side's 3-0 win over Shakhtar Donetsk in their midweek UEFA Champions League clash. He continued his brilliant form by chipping in an assist in his side's 5-1 victory over Genoa. That was last weekend, and it was very wonderful. It was very beautiful, and I really love how that happened. And this in turn saw him seal a spot in World Cup Serie A Team of the Week. Let's clap, let's clap, let's clap. Kudos, kudos. The Nigerian players are not doing badly, but then let's see how this performance will translate into getting goals against Libya. All we are saying is give us goals against Libya. And as a matter of fact, Nigerians are looking forward to how it's going to go. That's going to be on Friday when Nigeria will be taking playing against Libya back at home. Well, if you didn't do it well at home, if you go away, you know what I'm talking about. You know how it has been. And of course, there is a good news right here that Victor Osimhen will be returning from injury. I told you earlier that Victor Osimhen will not be in the Super Eagles versus Libya as game because he sustained some injury from the last match that he actually played for Galatasaray. As the striker has already been confirmed that he's going to return to action immediately after the international break. Galatasaray striker Victor Osimhen brought in this confirmation immediately after the international break. Will get him again in the field of play, and those that have missed him, especially the Nigerian players and all Victor Osimhen fans, will get to see him once again. The injury also ruled him out of Nigeria's African Cup of Nations qualifiers against Libya. Since joining Galatasaray on loan from Napoli, I don't want to tell you the story right now because you know how it is. That happened in September September. As a matter of fact, Osimhen has been quite impactful. That's number one. He has been contributing. That's number one. He has been formidable. And that's number two. He has proven points. And that's so many to talk about him with 2 goals and 4 assists in 4 matches across all competition. And his presence will be key as Galatasaray aim to extend their lead in the Turkish Super League. And of course, they would also want to defend the title. It is not just winning the league, but they will need to defend the title because they are the title holders. But then they need the likes of Victor Osimhen to be in that game. And of course, the Galatasaray fans are also looking forward to his return. And so good, he's going to be returning very soon. Let's see him return and not just playing for Galatasaray, but also having to respond to the call for Super Eagles games because we also need him in that front because his finishing streak is not something to be taken away anytime soon. Now, let's also go to other parts of Africa as we bring you a story from Ghana's coach Apia Plot as he is already making plans for the downfall of Black Stars of Ghana. He's from Ghana, but now he's plotting the downfall of Ghana. Someone may be asking, how will you be a Ghanaian and you are plotting the downfall of Ghanaian? I'll tell you the story and I'll tell you why it is like that. It's because the former Ghana coach Kwesi Appiah hopes to guide Sudan to victory over his country. He's now coaching Sudan and they are playing against his country, but then who do you think he is supposed to support if not the country that he is actually coaching right now? And that's the reason that headline said he is actually plotting the downfall of his own country. Well, Appiah said he has a plan and he is ready to guide Sudan to victory over his country of birth in a crucial 2025 African Cup of Nations and match day 3 qualifier that will be happening that's going to be on Wednesday. And of course, the all-form Black Stars cannot afford to lose the Group F match in Accra, Ghana to rivals 50 places lower in the world ranking after making a dismissal start in the campaign to reach the final in Morocco. Well, let's see how that is going to go. But then that's from Ghana, and of course that game is going to be going down. Everyone is fighting, everyone is pushing, everyone is struggling to get in the game that is going to be coming up in Morocco. Well, let's go on a quick break. After this break, I'll return and then it will be time for us to join the next flight that is going to be taking us around the world as we talk sport together. That's going to be after this break. Sport Ignite, sports day and night. There's no overdose when it comes to sport, and more still coming on your way on Talk Sport, reaching you live on the red from Global Television. Fortunately, and should I say at last, my guest is right here. He's been trying, but then because of some technical issues from his own end, he couldn't get on the call. Right now, he's here. It's good to have you, Yusuf. Welcome to Talk Sport this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you very much, Yusuf. Let's look at the Super Eagles game against, of course, the.
I can't hear. I can't hear you. I can't hear. Hello, can you hear me? I can't hear you. I can't hear. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear. I can't hear him. I can't hear him. There's no audio.
Ballon of the winner will be announced on Monday the 28th of October 2024, and that's going to be in Paris. This year's Ballon of the race promises a very fierce competition because Vinicius Junior has emerged as the current front runner. He's the one in front right now. Everyone is giving it to him, but the vote has not been done yet, and you know how these things happen. In every rumor there is an atom of truth, but then are you going for Vinicius Junior or you are going for someone else? As a matter of fact, let me just tell you what Vinicius Junior have actually done in recent time. I'm talking about the Brazilian forward who has been very instrumental in Real Madrid's success last season, and as a matter of fact, including their Champions League victory so far. With his impressive performances, he has positioned himself as a very strong candidate for the men's award. That's for Vinicius Junior. Let's look at other top contenders too. I have someone like Rodri on my list. I don't know who you have on your own list, but Rodri is also on my list. And you remember he played a key role in Manchester City's Premier League triumph, and was also named player of the tournament in Spain's Euro 2024 victory. But then looking at Rodri, he joined the short list alongside his Real Madrid counterpart, talking about Jude Bellingham, who also made a very strong case for the award with consistent display at the midfield. You know, when we talk about midfield, that place is very, very open, and whatever happens there is very easy to notice. Meanwhile, let's also talk about Dani Carvajal, who is also being considered as an outside chance. I have my reason why I say outside chance, because hardly is going to fall beyond these two players that I told you, Vinicius Junior and of course Rodri. But then there is no missing of words at all as we look at how it's actually going to happen with the right back playing a very vital role in winning the Champions League, the La Liga, and the Euro 2024. That's to tell you that he also has a chance in the winning of the Ballon d'Or. Talking about the Champions League, then you talk about the La Liga, the Spanish La Liga, then you talk about Euro 2024. While his victory might be surprise, his achievements have earned him a spot among the nominees for the Ballon d'Or. Well, that's it. But then let's see how all of that is really going to end. As soon as my guests join, I will let you know, because the sound needs to be established first of all. All right. Let's get back to my guest and see what he has for us. Hello, Yusuf. It's good to have you back.
Thank you. Good to have you too.
Asking you about the Super Eagles, and of course the Super Eagles are going to be taking on Libya. What do you think about that game? Are you giving it to the Super Eagles, or you want to give it to the Libyan side?
Of course, I'm giving it to the Super Eagles. I mean, Libya, with all due respect, I don't think they will match anything, because the fact that they are bottom of the group, and the team is just flat. So I really expect the Super Eagles to run over them, no doubt.
Trying to be patriotic, or you mean Super Eagles will run them over? Because even the coach is saying it's not going to be an easy game. Victor Osimhen is not going to be in that game.
Well, yeah, he's not going to be, but Victor Boniface is more than capable. I mean, if you look at his form this season with 4 goals in 6 games, I mean, he's as dangerous, if you ask me. So, I mean, I expect the Super Eagles to win this, the both legs.
I was actually talking about the Ballon d'Or because there is some speculation that, of course, Vinicius Junior and, of course, Rodri and Carvajal are at the front. But some persons were actually saying, well, our own brother was also nominated, Lookman, but then nobody's looking at his side right now. So what do you think about the Ballon d'Or? Looking at Vinicius Junior, looking at Rodri and their performances, then Carvajal, what do you think?
Well, many people are giving it to Vinicius just because, of his wonderful season. And I look at it and I say, yeah, he actually, deserves it alongside Carvajal, and Rodri. I mean, these 3 players, where, you watch them last season, you watch Rodri in the Euros, how he was just, the owner of the midfield for Spain. And Carvajal, of course, because of, in my opinion, the best right back in the world. So these 3 players, I think all 3 of them stand a chance. But one player I'm surprised, whose name has not been mentioned, is Lautaro Martinez. I mean, you have the best player in Serie A last season, the highest goal scorer in the Copa America, the highest goal scorer in the Serie A also. So I'm so surprised, why he's not been mentioned here. But all 3, just like I said, I think Vinicius Junior, he deserves this.
Let's quickly talk about Inter Milan as they try to sign Okoye. I'm talking about Maduka Okoye, the Nigerian goalkeeper, revealed that Serie A champions Inter Milan attempted to sign him from Udinese over the summer. Looking at where Okoye is right now in Udinese, the first choice player, the number one goalkeeper, living there and going to Inter Milan. Do you think he can still maintain that position of being the number one player in Inter Milan?
Well, I doubt. I have my doubts because Jan Sommer is a very fantastic goalkeeper. I mean, without any doubt. Okoye, has shown that he is also a good goalkeeper. But I just feel, Jan Sommer is a bit better. And I don't want to be, I don't want to be patriotic here. I would say, I don't think if you look at Inter Milan now, I don't think, Okoye will improve the team because Jan Sommer, to me, is a better goalkeeper than Maduka Okoye.
Away from there, Maduka Okoye. Stay where the ovation is loud for you right now. But then, if you want to move, make sure the calculation is intact. Well, we're almost rounding up. But now, Arsenal failed to win EPL title last 2 seasons, and of course, Gilberto Savia, an Arsenal legend, has explained why his former side failed to land the elusive Premier League title in the last 2 seasons. Yusuf, the Gunners missed out on winning the 2 league title to Manchester City in the last 2 campaigns, and of course they have started this season right now, and of course Mikel Arteta's side find themselves in a position going into the second international break of the season, and North Londoner have won 5 out of their opening 7 games, and they are third, just 1 point behind leaders Liverpool. Do you think Arsenal is going to get anywhere? Because as a matter of fact, Arsenal's legend Ian Wright on his own part has urged Bukayo Saka to help them, meaning he should help the Gunners win the Premier League and Champions League this season. Looking at this news so far, these are legends, okay? What do you have to make about these statements? How far with Arsenal?
Well, I would expect them to still be there, to challenge, to come close. But to win it, however, with the way Liverpool has started this season, and, Man City still being there, I wouldn't want to offend Arsenal fans here, but I don't think they'll win it this year. To be honest, I just don't think, because when you look at Liverpool and you look at Man City, I mean, these teams also are not playing this season, especially Liverpool. So I tip Liverpool and Manchester City. These are my two candidates to win the league. Although I expect Arsenal to still be there.
Yusuf, what about Chelsea?
Well, that's a work in progress. Personally, as a Chelsea fan, it would be great. It would be a good feeling, but I don't think we have what it takes to win the league this season.
Yusuf, for joining Talk Sport, even though there have been some technical issues that you couldn't join from the beginning, but it's so good that we have you at the tail end. Because at all, 9 bad pass. All right, it's better late than never. But then, thank you very much for joining us, and we hope to have you again, maybe full-fledged in the studio or via Zoom some other time. Once again, thank you very much, Yusuf. And of course, thank you, Yusuf. Right now, we are going to be calling it a wrap on Talk Sport. But don't forget that tomorrow is going to be another time again for us to talk sport together. You and I mean you, yeah? You and I. A Sport Ignite, Sports Day and Night. And there's no dulling, no overdose when it comes to sport. And the only thing you can use to wipe out whatever that is affecting you mentally or psychologically right now, looking at economy and everything, is just focus on sport. Because sport will make you come alive. All right, that's going to be more coming on your way tomorrow. My name is Ramsey Enoch. Bye for now and have a wonderful day ahead of you.